What's up, guys? It's Dano, and today I'm going to be doing a starter's guide for Team Fortress 2. Team Fortress 2 is a very popular, very good game. It's free to play now. It is, and uh, with them making it free to play, there's a lot of people who don't understand exactly what the game is about, or how to be good at this game, and they want to know some tips maybe. This is what I'm here to do. Um, First off, I'm going to show you some game modes. I did not mean to click that. If you go here, there's 6 game modes and a random selection. These will connect you to the game type of your choice. There's payload, where there is a payload cart that is on a mine track that goes through the map. The blue team has to push the cart, and the red team has to prevent blue from pushing it all the way to the end. Next is King of the Hill, where there's a control point in the center of the map. Um, Teams have to fight over the point, and when a team controls it, that team's timer, which starts at 3 minutes, goes down to 0. The first team to have their timer hit 0 first wins. Attack Defense. This is a variation of the control points game type. There are less points in this, and it makes for a simpler kind of control points game. There's Payload Race, which is pretty much the same thing as regular payload, except both teams have their own mine carts and their own mine tracks, and the first team to get their payload to the very end wins. There's Control Points, which, like I said, is like Attack Defense. Pretty much there are control points scattered throughout the map. Usually it's the blue team that is the one that has to capture these control points, which are under the control of red, and red has to prevent all the control points from being taken. There are some maps where the control points have to be done in order, and there are some where it doesn't matter. And then there is Capture the Flag. If you've played Capture the Flag in any first-person shooter, this is pretty much the same thing. You go to the opponent's base, grab their intelligence briefcase, and bring it back to your base, but your base has to have their briefcase in the base in order for the capture to register, in order for it to work. While you are holding the briefcase, you can use your weapons. And then 7th option is random. I'm going to do some offline training. I'll start with control points on Dust Bowl, which is an attack defend map, and I'll be going through the classes. Okay, this is the Dust Bowl attack defend map. Another difference between attack defend and control points is that most attack defend maps have multiple levels in each map. Like this Dust Bowl map consists of 3 sub-levels that are all connected, but you can only play one at a time. If you look on the at the bottom center of my screen, you can see 2 red squares, one of which has a lock on it. That's the status of the control points. They're under control by red, and the one that is locked cannot be captured until the one that isn't locked is captured. So this is a map where you have to do it in order. And right now I'm playing as the Scout. The Scout is the first of 9 classes in Team Fortress 2. The Scout is faster than all the other classes. He can double jump unlike all the other classes. And he gets a scattergun, a pistol, and a baseball bat. These are his 3 main weapons. The point of the Scout is pretty much to keep moving as much as possible. Another thing about... I got it. Another thing about the Scout is when you are capturing a point or pushing a payload, you do it at the speed of 2 players. So if your team is in a rush to capture a point, or if you're just trying to get through things fast, the Scout is your way to go. Whenever fighting enemies with the Scout, always try to keep moving as much as possible, because that is what the Scout specialty is. Okay. The Soldier is not as fast as the Scout. He has a rocket launcher, a shotgun, and a shovel as his main weapons. When you are using a rocket launcher, if you jump and aim at your feet, you can do a rocket jump. At the cost of some health, you can jump really high and get really far. The explosion radius on each rocket is relatively big, which means that splash damage does take effect. You don't have to hit your enemies with the rocket in order to actually hurt them. The explosion can do damage too. The shotgun, this particular shotgun, you'll see on a lot of classes throughout the game. These are all replaceable as you find weapons randomly throughout the game. And pretty much every weapon in this game can be substituted with a weapon that you find throughout the game. And go. The soldier is one of two explosive classes, which makes them good against fighting sentries, which are built by engineers, and they're good at gibbing, which means that they have the ability to make enemies explode upon death. And that is an uber charge. I'll get to that later. Throughout the map, there are ammo crates and health packs scattered around. If you need health, they'll heal you. It'll also distinguish you if you're on fire, or not distinguish, extinguish you if you're on fire. And he's dead. Okay. Explosions, such as the rockets from the soldier, have the ability to move sticky bombs that are stuck to walls or floors by demo men. Oh, I killed the sentry, though. That's pretty much it for the soldier. Here's the pyro. His default weapons are a flamethrower, a shotgun, just like I said, and a fire axe. The flamethrower also has a second ability to air blast, which is done with the right click. This takes, I believe, 25 ammo. No, 20 ammo. It takes 20 ammo, and it allows you to push enemies and reflect any projectile except for bullets. This is good for when soldiers are shooting rockets at you. You can reflect them back, and usually it'll do double the damage, or 1.5 times normal damage after you reflect it. If you're defending or capturing a point, you can push enemies off the point with this. There's a lot of good uses for it. When you're using the pyro, you can light people on fire with your flamethrower. The one downside is you can't light other pyros on fire. Pyros are immune to being lit on fire. Everyone else is completely vulnerable to fire at any given time. That's pretty much it for the pyro. One thing I want to say though, while I'm playing, is that the thing is, TF2 has a big role of player responsibility. That means that if your team is in a situation where you need a specific class and no one on your team is that class, it is your responsibility to become that class, even if you don't like that class. As long as you know what to do, that's really all you need to know. The reason you need to do this is because if you don't, your team could lose and it could be your fault. There's really no way around it. Call of Duty, Battlefield, they don't have that kind of teamwork here. This game requires it, and no matter what situation your team may be in, there is a way around it.
Mission begins in 60 seconds.
This is the Demo Man, the second of two explosive classes, the other one being the soldier. His default weapons are a grenade launcher that has 4 grenades per clip, a sticky bomb launcher that has 8 grenades per clip, and an empty bottle, which can be used to bludgeon enemies. The grenades can bounce off walls, bounce off floors, and are timed explosives. The sticky bombs stick to any surface, walls, floors, anything. And when you right click, all the sticky bombs that you have out will explode. These are good against sentries, against anything for the most part. One useful tip that a lot of people don't know is if you hold down your left click with the sticky bomb launcher, it'll launch the sticky bombs farther. If you look at the bar right under your ammo, you can see the bar raising, which means that it's gaining pressure and will shoot your sticky bomb farther. If you look next to the ammo, you can see how many sticky bombs you have out. I believe the default sticky bomb only allows 8 to be out at the same time. And again, the demo man has the ability to gib, which means that they can cause enemies to explode on death. The heavy is the slowest class in the game, but it is pretty much the tank of the game, and it has the most health. He's got a minigun. You can hold right click to spin up the minigun. You can use left click to shoot the minigun. He's got a shotgun just like a lot of the other classes in this game. And his melee weapon is his fists. How did a heavy get up there? You can use left click to use your left fist or right click to use your right fist. When you're a medic, a heavy is pretty much your best friend. It's your tank, and it will definitely help you capture your objective. As you can see right now, the medic has uber charged me. I'll get more into uber charges when I show off the medic, but just know that 9 times out of 10, the heavy is your best friend when you're uber charging someone. The engineer is a unique class. This is the only class that can do what he does. He's given a shotgun, a pistol like the scout, a wrench, a construction PDA, and a destruction PDA. The engineer has the ability to build a sentry gun, a dispenser, a teleporter entrance, and a teleporter exit. The sentry gun shoots any enemy within its range. If you look at this dome, it'll show you the sentry's range. You just select what you want to build, press the key associated with it, and then just pick where you want to build it. It'll build it on its own. Like I said, a sentry will kill anything it sees. A dispenser is health and ammo and can be moved anywhere. In fact, any of these can be moved anywhere by walking up to it and right-clicking. If you hit something with your wrench while it's building, it will build faster. And then there's the teleporter entrance and exit. The teleporters build by themselves the slowest out of any building. I'll just build this here for demonstration's sake. As these are building, I'm going to show off. If you look on the lower right, you see a 200. That is how much metal you have. Metal is used for upgrading and repairing your machines. If you hit something with your wrench, you will either repair it or upgrade it. It takes 200 metal to upgrade your buildings. Every building can only be upgraded twice, giving a total of 3 levels. The level 3 sentry gains more firepower and eventually the ability to shoot rockets. The dispenser has the ability to heal faster and give ammo faster. If you look at this dial on the dispenser itself, it'll show you that it actually gives you metal over time, and that metal and that meter goes from full to empty based on how much metal it has in stock. And then the teleporters can be upgraded by allowing people to teleport faster. By that I mean, usually after a teleport, the teleporter has to recharge. The more upgraded the teleporter is, the less time it takes to recharge. As you'll look, he'll go through, he'll teleport to the exit. The engineer is not really a combat class, more as is a helpful kind of class. Like, I can use this to teleport my teammates right by the point. Just a word of advice, when you're building something, you can use right click to rotate it 90 degrees. Oh my god, soldier. Damn it, damn it, damn it. Die. Gotcha. Okay, so I guess this is where my teleporter's going. Actually, I'll move it closer. Use right click to rotate it. Use this so that when you teleport your teammates, they're not facing a wall, which is really, really annoying. While that's building, I'm going to move everything over there. And so the sentry can be used to either defend points or to help your teammates get closer to points. So now I can use my own teleporter. And I'm going to put a dispenser right outside of the teleport. Hopefully that isn't destroyed by the time I get back. When you rebuild something after moving it, it does build significantly faster than when you built it the first time. Let me move this sentry over here. I'm going to move it here. You can still use the wrench to speed up its building. As you can see by that wrench symbol on the upper left corner, that means that this building needs to be repaired. I'm going to move this a little back. So right now, the main point that the sentry has is to defend the point, to defend the objective from the blue team. If you look next to the sentry, it'll tell you how many kills it has, and in parentheses, how many assists it has. The meter next to the dispenser tells you how much metal is in it, and the number next to the teleporter entrance tells you how many times you've teleported people, and that does include yourself. As you can see, it's just automatically shooting anything that comes within range. Pretty much after you have everything built and you're all set up, the main point of the engineer is to make sure that everything is in working condition. After you change classes, your buildings will disappear. You can get metal in a variety of ways. When you pick up ammo boxes, you get metal. You can get metal from your dispenser, or when you kill enemies and they drop their guns, you can pick that up and that'll also be used as metal. Or if your buildings are destroyed, the scraps from the buildings can be used as metal as well. And it looks like we're about to win this game. Like I said, you hit stuff with your wrench to repair it. If you hear like a weak metal sound, that means that you're not doing anything. If you hear a strong metal sound, that it means that you're doing something. You can also see on the upper left what exactly it is you're doing and how much metal you have left. Next is the medic. The medic is not a combat class. The medic should not be used for anything more than helping other people and defending itself. You get a syringe gun, which is pretty much an SMG that shoots syringes. You get a medigun, which is it heals teammates, but on top of that, as it heals teammates, you get an uber charge, as you can see on the lower right. The uber charge goes from 0 to 100%. How fast it gets to 100 depends on the type of medigun you're using, but I'm just going through the default weapons. Once you hit 100 with this medigun, it will turn you and your teammates invincible for a few seconds as your uber charge depletes. Once it is depleted, you can get it back up by healing teammates again. I have a setting on that shows health signs over teammates that need to be healed. This allows you to be more helpful. Mediguns can overheal people. I think it's 150% of their spawned health is their max health. What else? The medigun actually, the uber charge increases faster if you're healing someone that does not have max health. If it's recovering health, then the uber charge is going up faster. As you can see, my uber charge is full. When your uber charge is full, right click and you will activate uber charge. Depending on the medigun you're using, the uber charge will be different. There are uber charges that give you guaranteed 2 times damage, and there are some that make you invincible. It's all a matter of preference and taste. As a medic, you want to heal as many people as possible. Unless it's absolutely necessary, try not to focus on healing one particular person. Everyone needs help from a medic. As you're healing someone, if they kill someone, you get the assist. You do get points for kills that your healing targets make. And so you got the syringe gun, the minigun, and the bone saw, which is just a melee weapon, which can be substituted for other things as well. All of these can be substituted for something. As a medic, naturally you gain 5 health per second or something like that. There are weapons to increase and decrease this bonus. Okay, the sniper has 3 guns. He's got a sniper rifle, and a submachine gun, and a kukuri, which is like a machete. The sniper rifle, you right click to zoom in. As you can see, there's a meter. When it hits 100%, your shot will do the most damage, and headshots will instantly kill enemies. The SMG has a fast fire rate, but it is not really all that strong. It's only recommended if you absolutely need it. It only does 11 damage. That's really not that much. He was being healed, or else that headshot would have killed him. Come on. I shot him in the head twice. That's not fair. The kukuri is good for killing spies. It usually does it in 1 to 2 hits. The sniper is really vulnerable to spies because snipers are usually standing still, and they are far away from their teammates, which makes them pretty vulnerable. The sniper is not a combat class. The sniper is meant to be exactly what it is, a sniper. Do not try and go in with the sniper. It is not a smart idea. Nor is it the point of the sniper at any point anyway. The spy is probably, along with the engineer, probably one of the most complicated classes. He gets a revolver, a sapper, which destroys enemy engineer buildings, a knife, which can backstab. Backstabs are instant kill, and a disguise kit, which allows him to disguise as anyone in the game. With this, you also get a name and a weapon. Here, I'm going to use the sapper. It disables the sentry as well as damages them over time. As it damages them, the engineers can take the sapper off by hitting it with their wrench. And pretty much the biggest tip that I can give about that is try to sap the engineer's sentry before attacking the engineer. Because as soon as you attack someone while you are disguised, let's say I'm disguised as a pyro, as soon as you either shoot your gun or use your knife, you lose your disguise. You do not lose your disguise if you use your sapper, but you do lose it if you shoot your gun or use your knife. I say sap the sentry first before attacking the engineer, because the second that you turn back into your real appearance, the sentry will see that you are an enemy and will try to shoot you. So just sapping the sentry first will prevent that. As you have just seen here, the spy also has the ability to turn invisible. This can only be done for a limited time, and as you saw, I just did a backstab there. The invisibility only lasts for a certain amount of time. While you are invisible, you can either look at your watch or look at the cloak meter at the bottom right. It'll tell you how much cloak you have left. With the default cloaking watch, you can use ammo crates to also increase your cloak. You can also do it while invisible, so if you collect an ammo crate while you are invisible, it will bring your cloak back up. Pretty much the point of the spy is to try and get behind enemy lines and do as much damage as you can. Pretty much when you're facing a spy, they will be disguised. If they're any good at being a spy, they will be disguised. A couple ways to find out if you know. A couple ways to find out if a teammate is a spy is if you try and walk into them and you can't walk through them, then they are a spy. Because teammates can walk through each other, but enemies cannot walk through each other. So that's one way to find out. Another way is if you are a pyro, you can spray your flamethrower everywhere you want, and any spies that are within range will be lit on fire. So If you think there's a spy around you, either become pyro, or if you are pyro, or get someone who is a pyro to spy check. That's what it's called, to try and get rid of any spies in the area. And I just screwed myself. There are, again, replacements for pretty much everything that each character has. At the time of recording, I think the only weapons that don't have replacements yet are the construction PDA for the engineer and the sapper for the spy. Everything else, I believe, has a replacement that you can get randomly throughout the game. I'm not going to be going over those because you can find those on your own. The only thing I will say is each weapon has benefits and drawbacks. The weapon will tell you what its benefits and drawbacks are. Any blue text is a benefit, any red text is a drawback, and it is a matter of taste whether or not you want to use that item. Anything else that one needs to know about the item will also be said on the item itself. If you ever want to know what any items do and you don't have them, if you go to the items menu, you can go to the Manco catalog, and it'll give you information about every weapon in the game. A couple other things that I want to just touch upon but not really get into is replays. Most servers, you can save your life in the form of a recording and actually play it back, as well as edit it, put it on YouTube. There are actually achievements for getting hits on YouTube for your videos. And why won't this guy die? Okay, he killed himself. When you are when you are a spy and someone sees you, the best thing to do is to turn invisible and try to hide in the least conspicuous place possible. This doesn't always work, but that also means, like, if there's like a barrel that's just sitting somewhere, you can stand on top of the barrel. A lot of people don't check there. Or if you hide in a corner that people don't usually go, like right here, if someone thought I was a spy, I could turn invisible and stand right here and no one would find me. Because no one checks over here because they don't think that a spy will be there. Snipers do get an unlockable weapon, which is a shield for their back, which prevents spies from backstabbing them. This is called the Razorback, and it'll only work for one backstab attempt. After it stops one backstab attempt, it will break. That's pretty much it for the gameplay perspective. With items, you can either buy some with money from the store. If you are a free-to-play new person, then if you buy one item from the store, it will give you a premium account for free, which will allow you to trade with anyone. It will give you more crafting recipes, which I'll get to in a second, and it will give you more backpack space. Now, crafting. If you have extra weapons, you can break them down into scrap metal. Scrap metal can be used to make other weapons, which you can see under common items. You can get any weapon that's here, and this tells you what you need to get them. Some require scrap metal. 3 scrap metals will make a reclaimed metal, which you can use for more items. 3 reclaimed metal will make a refined metal. Refined metals can be used for other items, more particularly rarer items such as hats, which a lot of TF2 fans go crazy over. 3 refined metals make a hat. You can also do class tokens, which means 3 weapons from the same class. When you're building a specific weapon that you need for a specific class, you can use a class token, which will allow you to make a weapon for a specific class. The same thing goes with the slot token, like 3 primary weapons, 3 melee weapons will make a slot token of that type. That is used for the same thing as class tokens. You can rebuild slot and class tokens with a weapon for the class that you want it to be and the class token that you want to change. You can smelt 3 tokens to make a reclaimed metal, and then you can use a reclaimed to get 3 scrap and a refined to get 3 reclaimed. And then this is a list of items that you can make. The very top one is class weapons, which is where you use your tokens and 1 scrap metal, and it gives you 1 random weapon depending on the tokens that you put into the recipe. There are rare items such as hats. You can get, like I said, 3 refined will give you a random hat. If you want to make a hat that out of 2 hats you already have, you can do that. If you want a headgear or hat from a specific class, you need 4 refined and a class token. And then there are specials, which is like events, or if you want to just make your own blueprint. They don't always work, but sometimes they do. I went over the classes, I went over the items. I don't remember how many backpack slots you get, but you can buy extra. And weapons, even if you don't craft them, can be traded if you have a premium account, or you can just find them randomly as you play throughout the game. After you die, it'll tell you you have a new item, and it'll tell you what it is, what it does. I'll give you an example of an item. Let's say the random item, boom, the Eulapool Caber. It is a melee substitute for the Demo Man in place of the bottle. It is a grenade. Pretty much if you hit someone with it, it will explode, hurting both you and the victim. When it says no random critical hits, what that means is as you use weapons randomly throughout the game, you will find that your shot, let's say your rocket, looks a strange color depending on your team, and you hear like a lightning sound come out of your gun. That means that is a random critical rocket, and it will do twice as damage. This is just completely random, and every weapon does it, except for weapons that say that they don't do it, such as this Eulapool Caber. There are achievements for reflecting critical projectiles with the pyro. Pretty much if you want to see achievements, you would go to the bottom here to view achievements. There are, I believe, 394 different achievements. You can do developer commentary. You can be a coach, which means you can help people. You can tell them where to go, what to do to help them get better. You can report a bug. You can go to the forum. There are options like audio, video, keyboard, such as stuff like that. And then there's advanced options down here, which is like you can modify your game to make it easier for you, like play a hit sound every time you injure an enemy, display damage done as text over your target, as a medic, display a marker over the player you are healing, stuff like this. You can go through all of this, and you can decide what you want and don't want. And that's pretty much it. If you have any questions, just post it in the comments. I'll try to get to it. Thank you for watching. Comment, rate, subscribe. I do video game videos all the time. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys